Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are here today to talk a little bit about pulmonary rehab and support groups for people living with COPD. And I'm joined today by Ms. Rita Newman. She is a respiratory therapist of 37 years, and she is also the state captain representing the state of Arkansas. And Rita, I am just thrilled that you're here with me today.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm happy to help out in any way I can.
Well, thank you, and we know that you're happy to help, and you're going to give so much information and really share things that people have a lot of questions about. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk a little bit about COPD support groups and who are they for and how do they help?
Well, I'm a facilitator of one of our local support groups here in Little Rock have been for the last 4 years. And on our group, it's for anyone that has any chronic lung disease, COPD, asthma, lung cancer, but it's also for family members and caregivers that might want to participate and also to learn more information.
You know, that's really interesting that you say that. I think a lot of people feel like I'm not the one that's living with COPD. Maybe that's not for me. But I think it's really important that you mentioned it's for caregivers and family members as well. Right. What kind of things happen during support groups? So what can people expect if they decide to join a support group?
Well, everyone, I always try to have a different topic, usually a different speaker that comes in. It's all about, to me, it's about giving information. I feel like, you know, education is power. So the more information that you have about whatever disease, the better you're going to be able to cope with it, the better questions that you might have to ask your physician. And I know that especially if you're newly diagnosed with COPD, that it's a scary thing, you know, and it causes stress. But the more information that you learn, then the easier it's going to be. And so some of the things that we talk about are, and in fact, my very first meeting, we talked about the ABCs of COPD. And it was from a booklet from the COPD Foundation. And we went through, you know, how COPD affects your body, how it affects your lungs, and just a lot of really, really good information. But we also, every year, we talk about the medications to treat COPD. I have a pharmacist that comes in and talks. We go over the correct ways to use your inhalers, because that has been a big topic among the physicians on that the COPD patients are not using their inhalers correctly or getting the full effectiveness of the medication. So I feel like that's really important to go over every year. We talk about alpha-1, different diseases with COPD, asbestosis. I also we do like chair yoga. We always have refreshments. So that always helps. And then if I can get lunch brought in, then that's even a better thing. But I've had a dietitian that's came in, brought menus and actually cooking demonstration on healthy meals, but also easy recipes. And so she brought a crock pot and showed us how to do that. And we got to sample some of the different recipes and stuff, but just things like that. Even as far as talking about how to prepare for a doctor's visit, which is kind of a big thing, you know, and about taking your notes, how it's important to have another person with you, so everybody hears everything that the physician's saying. So it's just a lot of really good information, and then everybody has fun while they're there too. So
I think that's great, Rita, and I think what you're doing is you're giving people the tools that they need to be able to manage their COPD in their own life. So with tips about foods to prepare, how to do that, efficiently, maybe, cook once, eat several meals off of that one preparation, and really be smart about how to manage their own disease in their own life. So I think that's great that you're giving them all of that information to help them really be more proactive about their own health. I know some people are kind of shy and don't really want to do a lot of sharing in large groups. So what would you say to someone who says they're not really interested in talking in front of a group or opening up or sharing? Could they still benefit from joining a support group?
Yes, I truly think so. The whole thing about support groups is that you're getting out and you're around people who have are going through the same issues and problems that you are. So even if you don't say anything, which I do have a lot that don't talk, even after the 4 years, a lot of husbands and wives that come in together, but sometimes they may, after a topic, have questions, but instead of asking them out in front of everyone, they wait and come at the end and talk to the presenter if they have a specific question instead of talking. But definitely, you do not have to share anything. One of the things that I say at the beginning of each meeting is that what we share in this room does not go outside of this room. We're not going to go out and share and say, well, so-and-so said they have this. It's just for our information. And so it's nothing to be afraid of that, it's going to be shared by other people outside of the room. But yes, just because you don't want to participate, you're still benefiting from hearing other people talk about what's going on with them. And so, definitely you would benefit from coming whether you participated or not.
And there are some groups that have, during the time of COVID, have developed ways to connect with their community using virtual platforms, using Zoom or Skype and those kinds of tools so that they can keep connected with their groups and from a distance. And I think that is still a great way to stay connected with other people until such a time happens where we can all be in a room and share space again. So I appreciate all the comments about support groups. I want to shift gears just a little bit and talk about pulmonary rehab. Lots of questions come in about pulmonary rehab. And people will say, well, it's something I've heard about, but I've never done it before. So if my local hospital opens up their pulmonary rehab, what might I expect from a pulmonary rehab visit?
Well, I know I can speak for my hospital. We do not have a pulmonary rehab there, but we do have a rehab in the Little Rock area. And they have a respiratory therapist that's there. They have physical therapist, social worker. They can have occupational therapists at times if needed. So it's a really good, rounded support. They specialize just on exercises tailored just for you. And what I've always known as a respiratory therapist, that one of the best things that you can do with COPD is participate in pulmonary rehab, because all it's going to, you're going to benefit, regardless. But at this time, our rehab had closed down for a while at the beginning of COVID, but they are back open now, seeing patients.
That is really great. And I think, to be able to go somewhere and, like you say, have your exercise really tailored to you, to what you're able to do, and then help you build on those skills and build your endurance and your exercise tolerance so that you're able to maintain independence and keep doing the things that you enjoy for longer. Right. That's a really great thing about pulmonary rehab. But what do you think about places that maybe they haven't opened their pulmonary rehabs back up? What do you think about virtual pulmonary rehab programs or people just exercising on their own? Is that safe?
Well, I think that, you know, definitely exercising is going to help regardless. You just have to always listen to your body, and just start out very small. I know some people use like canned vegetables or even bottled water to use as their weights if they don't have anything at home. That's definitely something that can be done. I know our local pulmonary rehab does not have any virtual meetings or anything, or classes, but I think that would be really good to do. And I know the COPD Foundation has some exercises, and you know, even just relaxation exercises, slow, deep breathing, some of the things, again, that you can use in yoga, all of that helps, especially, you know, when you're having trouble breathing, is to relax your body. So definitely that would benefit anyone.
Well, thank you. I think it's important also, before you start any exercise program, to get permission from your doctor and make sure that they are on the same page, and are aware that you're starting a program and that that's safe for you. We do have, at the COPD Foundation, we do have exercise videos that you can access through our website and through our Pocket Consultant Guide app, our PCG app. We also have an online support group that you are free to join. It's called COPD 360 Social, and there are conversations happening there all the time with people all over the world who are living with COPD, who are caregivers or loved ones of people who are living with COPD, and they are there to help and encourage and support you and your loved ones who are dealing with this illness. And Rita, I thank you so much for taking time to talk to us today. This has been really informative, and I really appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you so much, Stephanie, and again, thank you for inviting me. I enjoyed it.
Thank you, and thank you all for being here. And you can find out more information at www.copdfoundation.org.